September 27th, 2013. It's amazing how some things can come out of left field and just hit you and you go, I remember that. I remember that. TJ was watching some on YouTube and watching some video clips of Weird Al Yankovic. And he'd been around for quite some time, but he used to have his own called the Weird Al Show, his own little interview type show, and he'd have guests on there, and he was viewing one of those, and when you watch YouTube, when the video's over, it'll show a listing of other things that are similar in nature. And I seen one in there that he did with Ozzy. I said, click on that one. And then he clicked on that one, and then when that one was done, and it was kind of a parody where they had an interview with Ozzy, and he would write his own questions, and then there'd be the answers from a different interview. That way he staged it. It looked like it was the same interview. It was done quite well, and he was talking about it today because we watched it last night. But again, after that was over, it showed a listing of different ones, and there was a interview that Ozzy did back in 1983 on a show called Night Flight. This was a real interview. Night Flight was a TV show. It ran from 81 to 88, and it viewed late Friday, Saturday nights. I was always one to every once in a while I'll kick up and like now Friday, I would say someone would ask what's on TV, and I'll say, well, it's Friday Night Videos, because there used to be a show called Friday Night Videos, and it played mostly just video clips of different music and artists. But Night Flight was a little bit different. It showed different clips. It had cartoons, kind of obscurity type things. Looking at some of the listings it did a lot of interviews with different artists of the time, and it was interesting how you completely forget about something for years and years, and then something like that will spark it. But I remember being in Wilmer, and not really, this is the early days of cable, so there wasn't really a lot of cable selection. So Night Flight, Friday Night Videos was the things that I watched then. I've always liked music and anything that I could get. And this Night Flight, as it was talked about, would air like videos and stuff that were banned or not released to like MTV, and they were more censored, had more censorship, but different things. And I remember seeing some really strange and unique. I was trying to explain to him that one of the most interesting ones I seen was from Neil Young. Did a video clip and some of his music and just really abstract. It was kind of like a place that an artist, more of an artist type outlet, not necessarily just videos for promotional purposes, but it was geared toward just the more unusual, abstract, different things. But the interviews were a big thing. You could actually sit down and one of them that we watched was the Ozzy one again, and he had short hair. You see Ozzy nowadays, and you always see Ozzy, and he always had long hair. And I was explaining to him that the one Cotton Bow Jam that I went to years ago, drove down to Texas to see this outdoor jam, and Ozzy had he wanted to do something that was special for that occasion, and he shaved his head. But when he came out on stage, he had a wig on, so he had his long blonde hair, as everybody picture would see and could see. And during the concert, he mentioned he wanted to do something for the crowd, and then he yanked off his wig and threw it out, and he just had a shaved head. And I remember that distinctly quite well. So it was still, this was like 2 years later, and he was still, had the shorty stub hair, which looks different on Ozzy, because he's always had his trademark was long hair. But interesting. You can look back and see things that we viewed and participated in, and it was a part of life. And every Friday and Saturday night, I had my videos, Friday night videos, and Night Flight, and I think Night Flight came on Saturday night because it said it took place. I think there was it was mentioning that there was some type of writers strike, and Saturday Night Live was not in service. So to fill that gap, they had Night Flight. So and they'd show some weird like B-class movies, as I mentioned, and I'm always for some of the unusual ones. Considering B-class movies, another thing that was I watched last weekend, which was interesting, was the midnight movie thing they talked about. That was during the 70s. It started like in 1970 in California. Somebody started the midnight movie fad, and then it was listed a few movies. But one of the midnight movies that a couple of them that I went to, but the one I went to was Rocky Horror Picture Show, and I remember Ruth, the gal up the street, took me to see that. She says, "You have to go see this," and went with her to go see it, and it was quite a treat. It was different and unusual, and the crowd participation was very interesting. I remember about that same time, so 80, 81, going to a midnight movie. They had what was it? One of the Led Zeppelin song Remains the Same that they would air, and you could go and check out these midnight movies. It was something to do, and was part of the this was after the 70s, but this was later on, because I remember after I went to Putman City West, I remember going to the movie theater, and because I went with some of my Yukon buddies, and some of the Putman City West guys remembered and seen me there and said, "Hey, Alexander," and I was yelling out in the movie theater, and giving the hand signal, like, yeah, I hear you, see ya. But I was with a different crowd. I was with my homies from Yukon there. But the stories of our youth. So I'm gonna play this little puppet. This is the Night Flight movie theme. Not much. It's about 40 seconds long, but you kind of see it. Night Flight. So it was, for the time, it was state-of-the-art entertainment, at least for young folks. September 27th, 2013. Remember the days, 30 years ago.